Welcome to your January 2022. Welcome to your January 2026 messages. Hello, everybody. I'm Devin Dewar, just waking up here. Had a couple cups of coffee, felt the angel bumps on my shoulder to go ahead and tune in early with you guys on this month's energy. We have so many things happening in the sky. So these are your messages to get you set up for success. We're going to do all signs here in a minute. Of course, at the end, I will do your bonus messages, but I am super excited to also invite you to my event on Tuesday, December 30th. It's a free event for your New Year's Eve messages to set you up for success. Did you know we are leaving a 9-year in numerology in 2025 and starting a brand new cycle, starting a 1 year in 2026? So I'm going to give you some powerful tools to help you make the most of that energy. This is a major transformational energy. So I would like to invite you to join me for this free event. All you have to do is sign up at the link below. I will send it to you. If you can't make it live, no worries. I will send you the replay as long as you're signed up, but it will be held Tuesday, December 30th at 11 a.m. Central. It won't be here on this channel, so definitely sign up if you'd like to watch the replay if you can't make it live. If you can make it live, I will be doing a Q&A at the end. I'd love to connect with all of you that way. But like I said, I'm going to be sharing some really powerful tools to help you make the most of this energy. So please join me for your New Year's Eve messages, and the link is below. All right, let's jump into the messages for you here. Like I said, we do have some really powerful energy coming in, not only with that transformational energy of moving from a 9 to a 1, but also we are going to see a lot of conjunctions. We've got a powerful full moon right out of the gate. Friday, January 3rd, if you're watching this early, get ready for that full moon to use it to really boost your energy as well. The new moon on the 18th is going to be amazing. So let's dive into this energy. Know that moving into it, you have a lot of support for you. As always, I want to invite you to listen to all 12 signs because you do have all 12 signs in your chart. So make sure you grab that journal and write down anything that resonates with you so that you can give your future self that gift of hindsight to look back on what resonated, where you were being guided. And I also love it when you leave a comment below and let me know where you're tuning in from, what's your sign, what are your plans for this month. I love reading every single one of your comments, so really appreciate it. Of course, I always love it when you like and subscribe to the channel. You are very welcome here. Let's dive into this energy. I'll be bringing in more messages as they come through, like I said, for all 12 signs. And then at the end, I'm going to be doing your bonus messages. So stay tuned for that because we always get actions to take, and we'll jump into that quickly here. Later on, I will be doing the timestamps below when I get a moment here. Hello to everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for saying hi. Love it. Happy Sunday to everybody. Like I said, I am doing this early because I wanted you guys to get ready for this transformational energy as we move into the new year. So the very first sign we're going to start off with, of course, is Aries. So let's check out what's going on for Aries in 2026. All right. January 2026. I did do my 2026 messages in November. I also did a duo reading with Reck from Tarot. Definitely check those out as well. Okay, Aries, for your first card for January 2026, you have this 9 of Fire card. Don't give up, protect what you've created, and have courage and believe in yourself. I can feel some messages, some extra messages coming in there, but first let's see what other cards we have for all of you. Second card is 10 of Air. Yep. Endings, recovery, and freedom. Love it. And then we have the Dolphin card. It says breathe, sacred geometry, cosmic consciousness. Yes, there are some things that you are completing at the end of 2025. You're moving into this new cycle. You're ready to move on. But this 9 of Fire card is asking you, Aries, please don't throw everything out. There are certain things that you are meant to bring into this new 9-year cycle, even if it feels like you are so over some of it. What you want to do is you really want to listen carefully to your intuition and look to see what are the things that I learned over the last 9 years. Go back to 2016. That was when we had another ending, another 9-year cycle ending. When we moved into 2017, it was a 1-year cycle. If you're curious how that works, you add the numbers. So 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 in 2025 nets to a 9. And then in 2026 will be a 1. So you're starting again, right? But also, Aries, you have so much energy moving into your sign, or wherever you have Aries in your chart, whatever house that is. I have a whole tutorial on that, Know Your Signs video. Here on this channel, you can see where you have Aries in your chart. You're having all these new beginnings. We have Neptune moving back into Aries. We have Saturn moving into Aries. They're going to be there a long time. It's going to really help you with this fresh start. But it's that idea that you are over something with this 10 in air. It's, my friend, Reck from Minopontero, he calls this the dead, done, and over with card. I love that saying for this because you're so over it. There is no resurrecting it. However, there are assets, there is knowledge, there are lessons you can bring with you. You can protect the things you've created. There are also relationships that you may want to hold on to. This is not a card of burning bridges here. And so what I was really hearing as soon as I saw the 9 of Fire card here is you have had some things you've had to overcome, Aries. I know a lot of you have gone through some broken hearts. You've been let down by people. You've thought to yourself, why do I bother? Sometimes I feel like, you like to charge ahead and get things done, but a big message that we had for Aries in 2025 throughout the whole year was making sure you allow people to come with you on your journey so you can delegate, so you can focus on the things you really want to create. But maybe some people let you down. Maybe some people weren't completely upfront with you. Maybe some people didn't turn out to be exactly who they are, but we don't want to cast that on everybody, right? It's the old, just because this one person did something to you doesn't mean the next person will. You want to listen to your intuition. You want to take a deep breath, and you really want to ask yourself, what am I taking with me? So what I'm seeing for the Aries for January 2026 is a lot of breath work, a lot of taking time to maybe do 3 to 10 deep breaths before you respond to something, before you decide, hey, I'm cutting this person out of my life. I'm cutting this thing out of my life. I'm not doing this anymore. Just take some time to breathe through. Ask your spiritual team. We all have so many amazing beings on our spiritual team, your guardian angels, your passed away loved ones, ancestors that you can tune into. Use the sacred geometry of breath work and things in the sky that are happening for us to ask, what are the things I really want to protect and take with me into this new cycle? So I'm actually going to invite all of you to look to see where you have Aries in your chart and ask yourself, what am I bringing from this past 9-year cycle, which was 2017 through 2025? What am I bringing with me? And what are the things I'm leaving behind? Because we're definitely leaving things behind. And you can look to see what part of your birth chart you have Aries in and look to see, okay, there's things around that I'm bringing in. But there's also things that I'm saying, we're done. And I really feel good about this clearing energy. All right. I think that was pretty clear for the Aries there. Just make sure you are not clearing away things that really are in your highest interest. I've said this before on this channel. I don't like the saying, but the whole saying of don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, I do not like that saying, but I have not come up with anything else that gives the same message. And I feel like Aries, that's kind of what you're being told, is just remember, take the things with you that you've worked hard and you've nurtured for, and don't let go of them just because somebody's let you down or things didn't quite go the way you wanted. All right, like I said, I will be doing the timestamps later. Thank you so much for liking and sharing the video. I'm going to ask you to subscribe if you haven't already, because it's such an honor to connect with you this way. And let's move into the Taurus energy. Definitely let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know your signs, what's going on for you guys. All right, Taurus, your first card is Page of Water. Intuitive, sensitive, artistic, friendly. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase. Heightened psychic abilities. Beautiful energy coming in for the Tauruses for January. Your second card is the 7 of Fire. Challenge, determination, and resistance. This is also the determination where you're standing your ground here for something, Tauruses. And then let's get your third card before we pull it all together. You have the Mugwort card, Rites of Passage. By the way, this is the dream deck I am using. So, okay, First, let's get started with this page of water energy. I do feel like you are tapping into your intuition on a new level, Tauruses. You already are very intuitive. You already do pay attention to the signs and symbols around you, but it's going to the next level. And what I'm hearing for the Tauruses is you may have to stand your ground about some things where people are trying to distract you, trying to get your attention, trying to engage you in something that isn't worth your time, effort, resources, whatever that is. So you're going to want to really listen to your intuition about that. And the rite of passage card here, Tauruses, is letting you know that these things that you've had to overcome, these challenges that are really, you've already basically overcome all these challenges down below. They were all part of a rite of passage, and you are now on higher ground. And one of the things I really like about this card too, Taurus, is in the background, you have some higher mountains here. You're ready to turn around and go higher. Go higher with your vibration, go higher with your creative projects, go do something above and beyond what you've done before. And you might have some people around you saying, wait, no, come with us, come do it this way. And you're saying, I'm not going back that way anymore. In fact, my intuition is guiding me this way. And for some of the Tauruses, it could be people who really feel they have your best interest at heart. They're trying to support you and love you and give you advice, but your intuition is telling you, no, I'm going to do it differently. And for all 12 signs, we're in this time of innovation, Pluto and Aquarius, right? So we're doing things differently than they've ever been done before. Like I said, you're taking your lessons and knowledge with you, like we said with the Aries, but we aren't always doing it the way it's been done before. We have a new, innovative way of doing it, and that starts with checking with your spiritual team, listening to your intuition. There's probably a better way to do it. And, you know, the old pay your dues, axe to the grindstone way of doing things is gone. That's what Pluto and Capricorn was getting rid of for all those years it was in Capricorn. Now that we're in Aquarius, it's not about doing it the tried and true way. It's about doing it in a new, innovative, more efficient way. So I do feel like for Tauruses, there's something you're wanting to accomplish, something you're working towards, that you're going to do it differently. And if others around you are challenging you on this, saying, oh, I wouldn't do that, I don't know if that's safe, then really go check in with your spiritual team before you take any action. Just like I said with the Aries, I'm seeing a lot of breath work for you as well in January. Take that extra time, even if it's only 3 deep breaths before you send an email, a text, or respond to something. I know for me personally, I've added breath work to my daily meditation and time that I spend just being completely electronic free and sitting in meditation. And it really has shifted how much I enjoy that space and how I feel when I come out of it. So I feel like it's something we could all consider doing. In fact, if you want to let me know, what are you going to be doing for some extra grounding and self-care in January? I'd love to read that in the comments below. All right, let's switch on to the Geminis. Thank you again. I'm just going to remind you to like and share this video if these messages resonate. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. When I woke up this morning, I was at almost 7,000 subscribers. So I would certainly love to have you subscribe. If you'd like to join me here, it'd be my honor. All right, Geminis, moving into the January messages for Geminis. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Your first card for Geminis is the 2 of Fire. I love this. You've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts continue to move forward. This is really exciting for a lot of the messages that I've been getting for Gemini for 2025. To continue to have this energy moving into 2026 is really exciting. Oh, and now you have the King of Fire card, another fire energy here. Inspirational, charismatic, and innovative. That's right, Geminis. This is going to be your year of new starts. Uranus going into your sign or back into your sign. It dipped in there a little bit last year, right? That's going to really push you forward with a lot of these things. And then your dream card is the Dancing card, self-expression and movement. I love that for the Geminis because this really is your time to shine. You're going to be doing new contracts, new projects, new partnerships, new ways of interacting with others, but it's in the most authentic way. You finally feel the freedom to share your passions in a way that is innovative, exciting, and truly the part of you that you want to be seen. You've wanted people to see you this way, but up until now, you haven't really taken the action. And now here you are in this King of Fire energy, really taking control. You're inspiring others with your words, with your projects, with your art, with the things you're doing in your day-to-day life. And it's almost as though you're beginning to really dance through your days. That's what I'm really seeing for you, Geminis. It's beautiful. It's this excitement flow that you were in. And a lot of it is you choosing to get off the fence and finally go for what it is that you really want. And now you're going to be so excited. It's just like this movement that you're going to be bringing into your life in all areas of your life is going to be really exciting. It's going to make you feel alive in a way you haven't before. Uranus in your sign will be disruptive, but you can see it as an opportunity to advance in a way that you haven't before because you have this King of Fire card here. And I really do see a lot of new partnerships coming in for Gemini. It doesn't have to be love. You may not even be looking for love, or you're already in a committed relationship. It's just a new level of commitment to something you're passionate about. So this could be with projects. This could be with collaborations. If you're retired, this is a new way of moving through your day that gets you going, gets you excited, and inspiring others. So I like to remind everybody, you may be a student, or you may be in that different act of your life where you're retired, you're not working. It doesn't mean you're not motivating others. It doesn't mean that you're not sharing things and leaving things behind for a legacy for the future generations. So definitely focus on that. And I really do see a lot of self-expression coming from the Geminis in January. So let me know what you're working on. I feel like a lot of you are going to be starting podcasts, YouTube channels, or you're going to be taking them to the next level. I think a lot of you are going to be writing, doing poetry. And like I said, again, if you're retired and you're not interested in those things, what are other things you could do? Maybe you're literally taking a dance class in January. I would love that for all of you. All right, you guys, let me know what's going on for the Geminis. Like I said, I will put the timestamps later, but thank you for liking and sharing. Let me know how you're doing. And let's move on to the Cancer energy here. All right, Cancers, for January 2026, your first card is Ace of Earth. The inflow of abundance, a promising business venture, important documents, or contracts. Yes, you are starting something very solid in January, Cancers. Moving on to your next card, you have the Five of Water, disappointments, regret, and forgiveness. This is you basically learning that there are things that you really and truly have held on to for the last 9-year cycle that have given you an opportunity to connect with your higher self. So we're going to go into that a little more. Let me get your third card first. Ooh, we have the yellow card here. Flexibility, adaptability, and personal power. I love that card. It definitely is talking about your solar plexus chakra there as well, which is the one that's right above your belly button here, right? Your third chakra. So let's get started first with this Ace of Earth. What is this new thing you're investing in January, Cancer? Some of you are investing in your health in a new way. Some of you are investing in a project for work, or maybe you're taking a class to advance your knowledge. Maybe it's something you're putting out into the world to share with others. And then some of you are actually investing in your home and family in a new way, and you're really grounding your energy in a new way. And Cancers, you're great with nurturing others, but it's like this new approach to your home and family and your relationships in your life. So what's the first thing that came to mind for you, Cancers? Let me know in the comments below, because I do feel like this new investment is going to be worth your time and energy in a big way. Now, one of the things that they're cautioning you about is to remember that the things that haven't gone the way you wanted, they were definitely happening as though it were a rite of passage, like we have with Taurus. But see this angel behind the person there? It's that reminder that when things seem like they're a huge mess in front of you, they're not. You can turn around and ask for guidance for getting all that milk cleaned up and getting it back on track, and not getting stuck in, this is literally a card of crying over spilled milk. You can't unspill the milk. So anything that doesn't quite go the way you were hoping it would go in January, remember there's a higher reason for this. And see, this person can't even see the guidance behind, right? So it's trusting that it's happening for a reason. And fives are cards of change. So you're probably going to see some things changing a lot, but that's where you're going to go into your personal power. And I feel like a lot of your personal power in January, Cancers, is going to come from being flexible, adaptable, and really trusting that you do have that connection to your spiritual team. Your guardian angels, your guides are helping you through this energy. And there is a way to clean up this spilled milk in a way that's going to really benefit you. It's going to really help you with this new investment. So I'm actually seeing this as a pretty positive card. I feel like this card is something that happened in the past 9-year cycle for Cancers. And now you're saying, you know what? I'm tired of crying over this spilled milk. I'm tired of this mess. I'm going to go higher. I'm going to understand it happened for a reason. I'm going to tap into my personal power, checking in with my intuition. And again, breath work, so that as I invest in this new future and these new things in January, I know that I've got that support behind me. I know that these spilled cups of milk are not stopping me for getting the things that I want. It just takes action, investing in going higher with that energy. So I want you to, ask yourself, what's the first thing that comes to mind with the last 9-year cycle where things didn't quite go the way you'd hoped for, and now you're going to go do it all over again, start new and really invest. And this time it's going to come from a place of your personal power. Where do you feel the strongest in moving forward? So I love that for the Cancers. Please like and share this video if it resonated, and definitely hit that subscribe button. And I will be putting up the timestamps soon. We're going to get to your bonus messages at the end of all signs. So definitely love having you here with me for all of them. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Hello, Leos, for January 2026. We have your first card is the Knight of Earth. Loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. Time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments, a guardian angel. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of Leos staying in one place in January or having to get really focused on one thing, but we're going to bring all that together in just a minute. Our second card is the Balance card here. Compromise, self-control, and moderation. Again, that's feeling the same thing with the Knight of Earth, like you're really focusing on something. You're not allowing yourself to be distracted. And let's see what your dream card is before we pull it all together. We have the Dragonfly. Transformation, magic, and illusion. Yeah, I feel like Leos, in January, you're being asked to let go of any frivolity, anything that's frivolous, things that are wasting your time, wasting your resources, wasting your energy. Really buckle down and focus on your goals in January. In fact, that goes for all 12 signs. Wherever you have Leo in your chart, I encourage you to think about the things that need organization, they need focus, and where could things be a little off balance? Because you have this balance card here. So have you been allowing yourself to get distracted? Have you been spending too much time doing something that's just causing you to spin your wheels, or it's not supporting you in your goals? And with this Dragonfly card, a card of transformation and illusion, is definitely a reminder of the transformational energy we are going through in January and all of 2026. So I will go ahead and remind you about my free event on Tuesday. Sign up at the link below, because I'm going to share some really powerful tools for you to make the most of this energy. I'm so excited. I don't want to talk about it too much here because it's a surprise. So even if you can't make it live, definitely sign up at the link below so you can get the replay and hear about these amazing transformational tools for all of you to really focus on where you need to be spending your time and energy and bring in this magical transformation. Remember, we want to visualize what we want, visualize the future, and then bring in that emotion and feeling behind it. So maybe what a lot of this Knight of Earth card is reminding you is that when you put that emotion and that focus behind something that you really want, you get it. But if you get a little too distracted about how you have to get there, if you get distracted by other things in your life that have, maybe not gone the way you wanted, hurt feelings, focusing on things from the past that didn't serve you, that's where things could be a little out of balance. So I think one of the things that I'm hearing for Leos in particular is that you just kind of want to remember that you can make the most of the energy in front of you. Just like the Cancers had the spilled milk card, the Five of Cups, we don't want to be sitting there ruminating over how things didn't go the way we wanted, or, oh, now I have to go deal with this responsibility I don't really want to do. That's what this Knight of Earth card is saying. Just get focused, and actually getting really focused on the things that you need to get done is actually going to help you with this transformational energy. So anything you've been putting off doing, or anything that's been a distraction, Leos, this is your time to clear that away. Like I said, and January 3rd is our first full moon of the year. Beautiful full moon, great energy for all 12 signs to go ahead and really focus on their goals, and don't bring things with you that are distracting you, okay? And I think that is another energy that we're going to see for all 12 signs in 2026, is there's going to be an opportunity to be distracted through a lot, you know? And of course, there's always distractions around us, but we want to get really clear on what's a distraction and what's something that needs our attention so that we can handle it, get focused. And that's what I'm getting for all 12 signs, including Leo, with that Knight of Earth, is just making sure you're bringing balance into those 3 areas of your life: your relationships, not just romance, your health and fitness, and of course, your career and finances. And this could be your legacy if you're retired, or things you're working towards if you're a student, okay? So let me know what you're all working on. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing this video. It really helps my channel grow. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you haven't already so we can stay in touch. And let's move on to the Virgos. Hey Virgos, let me know where you're tuning in from, what's going on for you guys, and let's see what's your first card for January 2026. You have the Justice card here. You have fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right and stand up for your beliefs. Love it for the Virgos here. Your second card is the Two of Earth: balance, prioritization, playfulness. I do definitely see an energy of bringing balance into the things you have to get done, but also allowing yourself to play and have fun. And then before we pull it all together, let's pull your dream card here, which is the Unicorn card. You are a unicorn. Something you're doing that you are so unique with, Virgos. I love this: innocence, trust, and honesty. Yes, definitely bringing that in. Virgos, you are a unicorn. There is something only you are bringing into the world, and you're bringing a lot of balance and justice with the work you're doing. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, I don't really know what that is. I don't really have a focus. You have an intuitive hit of what this is. It's the kind of thing that makes you feel creative. It's the thing you're excited to do with your free time. I always think of what are the things that get you out of bed in the morning and excite you, not the things that make you get out of bed, like having to be at work on time or having to get to an appointment or get to the gym. The things that are exciting, that you would actually be willing to get up early for, the things you'd be willing to go to bed early for so you'd have the energy the next day. There's energy around that for you, Virgos. You know what this is. And in January, it's your chance to really focus on it and not allow any of the other distractions that have come your way in 2025 to get in the way of that. And of course, some of it was just fated things that happened for Virgos, especially with those eclipses in your sign. But you want to prioritize this playful energy, prioritize the things your heart wants to do. Even if it's just 15 minutes a day of working on something, I really want to invite you to get up a little early, or stay up, plan to get ready for bed a little early so that you have the energy the next day to get this playtime in. I know for me personally, when I started doing the, Reck and I've talked about this, we both have done the Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. We've both done that before. I've done the challenge and everything years ago, but I do still to this day enjoy getting up early and making it a priority to work on certain things, learn things. That's where I'm always advancing my skills with astrology, with numerology, all these different things that I study and offer. those are things that I get to do in the morning, and it gets me out of bed. I'm so excited to go do those things, to journal, to work with my spiritual team. And so what you're being reminded here, Virgos, is you have this very unique thing that you're bringing into the world in 2026. In fact, go check out the duo readings I did with Reck from Minopantoro. We did the 2026 energy a couple weeks ago. He was like, Virgos are going to be famous in 2026. And you may be asking yourself, saying, I don't want to be famous, but you're going to be known for something unique. And only you can bring in, Virgo. So I really love this energy. Trust that everything that happened in 2025 was shifting things for you, freeing you up so you can take more time to play. And I really, I'm getting so many angel bumps in the top of my head right now. I really need Virgos to hold that space for those creative things, because only you can bring it in. And the rest of us want to see that. We're all going to benefit from it. So thank you in advance, Virgos. Bring that creative thing into the world. All right, we're going to move on now to the Libras. Let me switch the icon here. Thank you guys for liking and sharing this video. It really helps my channel grow. I would really appreciate your subscription. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. All right, Libras, what's your first card for January 2026? You have the Seven of Earth card here. Seeds well planted, a temporary pause in action, unnecessary worry. Yes, I know you guys over the last 9-year cycle have definitely been working hard towards a lot of things, and it's definitely felt like they haven't gone as smoothly or quickly as you've wanted them to, but just know that you have been investing in the right things. Your next card is the King of Air card. I love that. Knowledgeable, objective, and respected. Yes, you are going to finally be seen for these things that you've been doing, whether you've been working to build a YouTube channel or a podcast, to write a book, or share your knowledge with people around you. If that's not something you're interested in, you're finally going to be seen for all the work you've been doing, and you're great communicators, Libra. So let's pull this all together after we get your dream card. Look at that. We have the Amethyst card. Psychic abilities, behavior patterns. Amethyst is one of my personal crystals. I just love it. I am always attracted to them, always have been. I think probably the first crystal I ever bought was this amethyst right here. And it actually called to me. I was on vacation on an island, and I saw in my third eye, which also purple, and I saw to go to a store on the other side of the island. I walked in and it was sitting on the shelf right there to my right. So I feel like with this amethyst card, there's something calling to you in your visions, and what you're going to need to do is keep going with what you've been working on. It feels like you already know these things that you want to see for your future. Now it's time to start talking about it more. What I feel with this King of Air card is start sharing that wisdom with the world in a bigger way. Keep going with what you've already been doing, but also really start sharing your vision. That's what I'm really seeing. Is I think that you know what it is that the future is going to be. You see the outcome. You see the things and how good they could be or how much better they could be. And now it's time for you to share that wisdom in a bigger way. So if you have been thinking about starting a podcast or a YouTube channel or writing a book or doing some kind of blog, share that vision, communicate it, do it in January, get started. Because in fact, if you're hearing this early, get started now. We're already feeling so much of this pushing energy, but it really is about communicating your vision. I know you've already been doing that. You've already been working towards it, and you feel like, when am I going to have this breakthrough? Well, you're almost there, Libras. I'm so excited for you. Let me know in the comments, what are you doing? What is this vision you're communicating? Because that right there is affirming it, and owning that energy is there for you. So definitely keep me posted. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And I'm really excited for you, Libras. Thank you for liking and sharing this video. I really, really appreciate it. Alrighty, Scorpios, what do we have for you guys for January 2026? Three of Earth. The power of creativity, recognition for very high quality work, being a team player. Love it, Scorpios. Your second card for January 2026 is the Hermit card, introspection, self-discovery, mentorship. We're going to pull all this together after we get your dream card, which is past life, gifts, and review. Well, that's very validating for what I was seeing here. this card of teamwork here is actually work with your spiritual team. I see a lot of Scorpios doing a lot of introspection in January. You're going to be spending more time communicating with your higher self, with ancestors, passed away loved ones. You're going to be really tuning in to your gifts from past lives. If you've never done a past life review, I highly recommend it. It brings so much clarity to the things you came here to do. And I feel like with this Hermit card here, you're going to want to take that time and space to do it. So my Scorpios out there that love to curl up on a rainy day with their blankets by the fire, please also bring your spiritual text with you. Bring your journal. Do some automatic writing. Maybe do a past life regression with a trusted hypnotherapist, or you can do online ones. There's YouTube videos for it. But there are some things you need to understand about past lives where you brought these gifts through. And maybe you're not really using them to your highest ability, but you did come here to use those gifts. So this is actually really exciting, I feel like, Scorpios, because through a lot of the messages I got for you guys in 2025, it was a message around you're on the right track, but you kind of have to wait for everybody else to get on board with your ideas and vision. So now it's time for a little bit of a pause to reflect on what's been working and what hasn't, and then really tap into those gifts, because you might actually find you've been blocking yourself because you haven't been tapping into those past life gifts, or there is something from a past life that needs to be unblocked. So one of the things that when I really started diving into my past life reviews and understanding the gifts I brought from my past life, I also understood some of the blocks from past lives, such as a lifetime that I spent as a nun for many years, where I took a vow of poverty and a vow of isolation. Those kinds of vows need to be broken in order for you to move forward in this lifetime. So really, this goes for all 12 signs. We're going to be asked to spend a lot of time in that past life review. And really, this time of year is really great for it, because you can get started now with this Capricorn energy. You can tap into it on a higher level in Aquarius. And then when we get into Pisces, then you really start seeing it all come together, and it's actually easier than it is the rest of the year to really tap into those past life understandings. So if you get started now, booking that past life regression appointment or getting the text or studying it now, by the time you get to the Pisces energy, you're going to have these aha moments that are going to really help you get started with the energy we have coming in at the end of February, with the Saturn and Neptune conjunction in Aries and all the Aries energy we're going to have in March. So really exciting stuff for all 12 signs. But I definitely want to see you invest this time in working with your higher self and your spiritual team, doing that self-reflection and getting clear on some past life blocks and some past life gifts that you need to be honing. And let me know in the comments if you'd like me to do a past life reading for all 12 signs. I do it for my Coffee with Devin community every once in a while when I feel tapped into it. But I don't know that I may have done it before on this channel. I haven't done it in a while, but I feel a lot of that energy coming in for all of us as we wrap up this 9-year cycle and move into a 1 year. All right, guys. So thank you so much for liking and sharing this video. Like I said, I really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, and reminder about my free event on Tuesday, where we'll also be talking about this transformational energy. Just sign up at the link below. If you can't make it live, I'll send you the replay. All right, Sagittarius, for January 2026, your first card is Knight of Fire. You got to love that, Sag. Passionate, adventurous, self-assured, restless. A sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. Yeah, Sagittarius, there is something that you need to get really focused on in January. I feel a little bit like you know what this is. Like, as soon as you hear me say that, you're like, yes, I need to face this. I need to deal with this. I need to say something. But you haven't done that yet, just because the energy hasn't felt right. But you're going to really need to get focused on doing that in January. Your second card is the Eight of Air. Self-doubt, caution, free will. So this also relates to this thing that you need to get focused on. There's something you're walking away from, and you need to communicate that you are not doing that anymore. We're going to bring it all together, but let me first get your dream card, which is Summer. Ooh, I love that. Taking action, fruition, intellect. Yeah. I mean, I've been getting this message for Sagittarius is all 2025, so it's no surprise moving into 2026 that you're charging forward with something you're excited about, something you really want to do. And there are some things that you need to say no to, that you need to walk away from. And there are some things that you really need to pursue in January, but also in 2026. Because I see with this summer card, if you will go ahead and express how you really feel in January to those around you, maybe it's to a boss, maybe it's to a group of friends, maybe it's to a loved one. If you go ahead and take the time to deal with that in January, you are going to see such reward in the summer. And this doesn't have to literally be the summer, but it's that card of feeling like, okay, now I'm out in the sun. Now I'm really shining. Now I'm really doing things the way I want to do. So I don't feel like it means you have to wait 6 months if you're here in the northern hemisphere and you're in winter till summer, or vice versa in the southern. But it is this card of freedom. I mean, that's what summer often represents, is this idea of being out in the sun, being free to do things the way you want to do. And so some of you may be leaving a job behind, and you need to have that conversation that you're putting your notice in. Some of you need to let a partner know that things need to change. Maybe some of you are leaving relationships, but this freedom you are seeking, Sages, is going to be your reward for going ahead and having that conversation. I feel like for some of you, you know exactly what this is. You know exactly what you need to say. You just haven't said it yet. And for others of you, it's more that you're not quite sure what you're going to do on the other side of that conversation. So it's like, you need to have a conversation, but then what? Well, allow your spiritual team to guide you on that, because this is really a card of charging ahead and letting others know, hey, I need these things to change. Now, it does say think things through carefully. So of course, we're doing this in a way that is thoughtful. We're thinking through the conversation before we're having the conversation. Because like I said, I heard that then what card. So you're like, tell your spouse, I want to quit my job. And your spouse is like, what? Okay, then what? Then what are you going to do? And you're like, well, I don't know. So obviously that's just an example. Apply this to you, however that is, or wherever you have Sagittarius in your chart. But there is some type of thing that needs to be discussed in January. And I just think taking your time with that is going to benefit you, but going ahead and taking action is also, you're going to feel a lot of relief from that. All right, Sagittarius. So let me know what you're working on. Thank you so much for liking and sharing the video. I really appreciate it, and hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already. I forgot to tell everybody up front. I guess I'll say it now. I'll say it again at the bonus that I do have Reck. It's going to be back on my channel next week. Let's see. This is the 28th, the beginning of this week. So it's going to be January 7th. So definitely hit that subscribe button so you can tune in for another duo reading with the amazing Reck from Minnow Tarot. All right. I put up the Capricorn sign before I pulled your card. Sorry, Capricorn. All right, Capricorn, your first card for January 26th. Oh, by the way, happy birthday season. You have so many amazing things happening in your sign right now, so definitely take advantage. All right, your first card for January 2026, Capricorn, is the Two of Air. Okay. Being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, pretending there is no problem. I don't feel like you're pretending there's not a problem. I think you're still on the fence as to whether what you want to do next. So we're going to pull all this together. I think you know what this is. All right, the next card is the Magician card. Manifestation, empowerment, and preparedness. Yes, I really like that card. You are taking action on something in January. You know what that is. And then your third card, before we pull it all together, is the dress rehearsal card, alternative course and choices. Yeah, you have this choices card here too, Two of Air. It makes so much sense. I think what it is you need to visualize both options, or like Reck from Minnow Tarot says, third, fourth, and fifth options. There is this thing that you're not sure you want to take action on because you haven't done it before. And so just like with this dress rehearsal card here, I feel like you're going to be taking action on something to transform something in your life, but you may find that it's not the final result of it. You're kind of practicing it. And, I do think for some of you, in order to transform the energy, you need to give yourself the opportunity to have a dress rehearsal for something, going through the motion in the way you would really do it, right? And this is making me think of, the actor that wants to get their dream role. While they're waiting around to get that audition, you're going out and doing other things to act and to be seen on stage and to practice as though you are already in that dream role. So I feel like for Capricorns, this is a little bit of acting as though you're already there. You're already in that energy. You're already the leader of something. You're already the authority on something. You're already successful at something. And that's what you're going to be spending a lot of time doing in January. And you may be saying to yourself, well, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know what the result is going to be, but you have to try in order to know. So what's the first thing that comes to mind for you, Capricorns, or the area of your chart where you have Capricorn? I want you to ask yourself, what have you been thinking about doing and you're not sure? And you're asking yourself, well, I guess I won't know until I just try it. Okay. So I want you to think about that. Even if you're not a Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising, wherever you have Capricorn in your chart, what is there something there that you could do a dress rehearsal with, and just give it a try? It could be just signing up for like a free class at the gym that you wouldn't normally take just to see if you like it. But there's some transformational energy here for all of you. There's so much happening in Capricorn right now as I'm recording this and well into January. So take advantage of it and basically go ahead and decide to try it. And, you won't know what you want to change until you've had that dress rehearsal, but practicing it, getting into the energy is going to really help you see, wow, I'm ready for this. And that's what I think is going on, is that you're not sure if you're ready, but by doing the dress rehearsal, you're going to realize you are. So I love that to the Capricorns. Thank you for liking and sharing. Comment below, what are you doing a dress rehearsal for in January? I hope you'll join me for the New Year's Eve messages on the 30th. All right, let's move on to the Aquarius energy for January. Thank you so much for liking and sharing. What is the first card we have for Aquarius in January? We have Four of Fire. Contentment, peace, and abundance, a happy home life, the successful completion of a project. This is really exciting for Aquarius. I love this energy. The sun is in your 12th house. This is a time of transformation, and you're going to be ready to really bring things to completion in January, these things you've been working on behind the scenes. Your second card is the Six of Water, memories, childhood, and nostalgia. Very appropriate for the 12th house energy you're experiencing right now. You may be getting a lot of downloads in your dreams. You may be reviewing things from your past. You might be feeling a little nostalgic. I did notice how quickly the bittersweet energy set in for people around me after Christmas of, that Christmas is over. We kind of the end of holiday season blues. I was seeing it come out a lot more quickly than usual. And I do think we're all feeling that energy of nostalgia right now, but definitely you are, Aquarius. So let's get your third card here before we pull it all together. Your third card is the Hawthorn card, Balance, Elemental Kingdom. Love that there too. Yeah, I feel like for Aquarius, one thing that's going to be really valuable for you in January is to kind of pull back and finish the things that you've been trying to finish in this last 9-year cycle. I know we're saying, okay, this is all these new starts in 2026, but there's things you've been working on behind the 12th house. There's things you've been working on behind the scenes that it's time to finish them, complete them, so you can bring them out and show them to the world in a bigger way. And this successful completion of a project is what I'm seeing here, is if you can kind of pull back in January and get a lot of those things completed. I feel like some of you are going to be wrapping up things. You're ending something that you're committed to or doing. You're saying we're done with that. That's over. And then you're having more time to work on the things you've been wanting to work on. And then really taking that time alone to get clear on what are the things that I want to bring with me into this new 9-year cycle. And what are the things that I'm hanging on to just because of nostalgia? And it's really no longer serving me. I feel like a lot of Aquarians are going to realize some of their relationships and friendships and groups of people they've surrounded them with, really, they've only been hanging on to them due to nostalgia. There's not really a match in energy in there anymore. And it's really kind of causing things to be knocked out of balance for you on a day-to-day basis. It's getting in the way of your daily routine or the things that you're focused on completing. So you're going to be asked, really wherever you have Aquarius in your chart, but Aqua specifically, where are there people or commitments in your life that distract you? They keep you from doing the things you really want to go do. I feel like you're going to be releasing those things, especially with this full moon on January 3rd, and make sure you're not holding on to them just because of nostalgia. Are they really an energetic match? Now, for some of you, these are actual items in your life. It could be furniture you're donating, things you're clearing away out of your home or your office. It could be old projects that you're like, you know what? I don't even resonate with this particular thing anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. But really get clear on that, Aquarius, because with all the energy in your 12th house right now, this is your chance to really get clear on that and say, I am not doing things or committing to things or being with people that keep me from doing the things I came here to do. Just like we had with, what sign had the past life regression one? Scorpios, right? I feel the same way too. You could be doing some past life review in January that really helps you get focused so that when the sun moves into your sign, you're ready to go, go, go. And you've got some powerful energy coming in there for you as well. All right, Aquarius, thank you so much for liking and sharing this video. Would love it if you'd hit that subscribe button. And let's move on to Pisces. Hello, Pisces. We're going to do your bonus messages for all 12 signs in just a moment. But let's wrap up the individual signs here with Pisces. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And again, thank you so much for liking and sharing the video. It really helps my channel grow. Your first card for January 2026, Pisces, is the Four of Water. Missing an opportunity, discontentment, or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. Wow, that's really interesting. Yeah, you're going to be leaving some things behind too in January. I think you are bored with some of the things you have in your daily life. You are bored with some of the things you've been doing for the last 9 years. You're ready to move on. But let's keep going before we pull all this together, Pisces. Your second card is the Lovers card, relationships, emotions, and choices. Yeah, for a lot of the single Pisces out there, I've been getting you're going to be meeting somebody new. It's going to come through a new connection, somebody that maybe you've met through a work project or something. For those of you who are not single or are not looking for love, this is a card of just taking a relationship to a new level. It's maybe a relationship to your health, a relationship to your work, relationship to your family members, something really fun and exciting. But it's because you're no longer happy with the energy you're in. So let's get your third dream card before we pull it all together. You have the gardening card here, manifesting, planting, and reaping what you've sown. Yeah, I love that for the Pisces energy. All right, Pisces. So with this Four of Water card here, you know what this is. You knew it as soon as you saw the card. There is something you are no longer excited to work on anymore. Your emotions don't show up for you in the way they used to. You're feeling apathetic about it. It could be a daily routine. It could be a project. It could be something that you've spent the last 9 years building, and now you're over it. You don't want to do it anymore. It's not exciting. Some of you might be moving to a new home. Some of you may be leaving a job. Some of you might be leaving relationships, but I don't feel like they're romantic ones. I actually feel like it's more a group of people or an association with a group of people where you're saying, this is just not fulfilling me anymore, because this Lovers card is showing me you do have new relationships coming in that are fulfilling. In fact, I think you already kind of have an idea of where these relationships are going to come from. Maybe you started a new hobby, you started a new job, you moved to a new location, and you've already gotten a few hints about where you might get excited about something new. Now, in some ways, this is not actual people for some of you. For some of you, this is a new way of viewing the world and a new way of moving about your day. And you have this new connection with your higher self and your spiritual team that is really allowing you to invest in things you want for your future. So this gardening card for me is really a card of you getting the benefits of leaving something behind, of focusing on new relationships, new daily activities, new ways of being, and really enjoying the process, right? The act of gardening in itself can be very rewarding, even though you haven't actually gotten the harvest yet. I do feel like for a lot of Pisces, it's going to be the act of going out there and meeting new people or going out there and starting something new that you're going to really enjoy in January. So I'd love to know, what are these new things you're doing? What are these new relationships? And where are you going to go ahead and invest in a new way of being in 2026 that's going to really help you? We have Neptune finally leaving your sign. It's been in your sign since 2012. It's going to leave your sign at the end of January. And so I do feel like a lot of the work you've been doing, not just for the last 9 years, but since 2012, is going to bring you a lot of abundance. But you have to be willing to move away from things that are not emotionally fulfilling anymore. I mean, this could be something as simple as a hobby. You spend every Saturday at the golf course with your buddies, and you're just not excited to do it anymore. It's nothing personal. You have other things you want to be doing with your time, other things that excite you, new people that you want to spend time with, and go ahead and trust that the work you've been doing since 2012 and the work that Neptune's been doing for all of us in Pisces is going to bring us a lot of benefits and allow us to manifest this whole new reality. And this really is for all 12 signs, a whole new reality in 2026. So let me know what you're working on. What are you leaving behind, Pisces? I really appreciate you liking and sharing this video. And I do have one of all of our favorite Pisces back on my channel on January 7th. So definitely hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified when that's live. Reck from Minnow Pond Tarot will be back. And I will also invite you again to please join me for your New Year's Eve messages. Your New Year's Eve messages are going to bring transformational tools for you to get started in this new 9-year cycle. We're starting in 2026. 2025 ended a 9-year cycle in numerology. 2026 is the beginning of a brand new one, a 1 year. I'm going to be sharing really, really powerful tools for you. I'm going to be sharing your New Year's Eve messages. If you can't make it live, it's okay. All you have to do is sign up below, and I will definitely send you the replay. A beautiful bird just landed on my angel out in front of me. And so I was like, wow, that was a beautiful sign there. We're going to be getting so many signs from your spiritual team. This is your passed away loved ones, your guardian angels, your higher self, your ascended masters and ancestors. All of your spiritual team will be bringing you messages for New Year's Eve. So I want to invite you to sign up at the link below. It's 11 a.m. Central, December 30th. But if you can't make it live, I will send you the replay as long as you're signed up below. And I will be doing a Q&A at the end. So if you can't make it live, please join me. The replay will be available shortly after. You can come back and watch it anytime you want. And I really want to be able to share these New Year's Eve messages for you so you can make the most out of this transformational energy. All right. Thank you guys for listening to that. Thank you again for liking and sharing. Check out that link below, and let's go into your bonus messages here. All right, for your bonus messages, we're going to do the present energy, the near future energy, the future energy, and then your 2 actions to take. So this is for everybody to take action on right now. If you're tuning in late, feel free to go back and watch at the end, but definitely let me know where you're tuning in from. And again, thank you so much for liking and sharing the video. I really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. All right, your present energy right now is this release card, endings, transformation, and freedom. I love this so much because we start the month almost right away on January 3rd with this powerful full moon, a time of release. So what are we not bringing into 2026 with us? And what things are we bringing in? We're just transforming them. So I want you to think of it this way. Right now, at the time you're hearing these messages, even if it's halfway through January, you are transforming. You're going through this energy, whether you're aware of it or not. That's why I'm doing this free event. So even if you're watching it in February, it's still going to bring in those messages for you to help you see, wow, look at how far I've come. And I do encourage you at the time you're hearing these messages to think about the last 9-year cycle we've been in, which began in 2017. 2016 was the last 9-year. 2017 was the first year. And we went through this huge transformation. Well, I did a event on this in November, and it's still available for replay as well, where I went all the way back to 1908. And I said, every time we had a 9-year move to a 1-year, what themes were there in history globally? It was shocking, the similarities. And even though each 9-year ending and 1-year cycle had different people, different details, different, nuances, they still had these major themes that were present. So even by just going back to 2016 and 2017 and asking what's changed for you can help you see what you're leaving behind and what you're transforming in January 2026. Now let's go into the near future card. So coming up very soon, we have this 7 of Air card, awareness, caution, and consequences. Yep, that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to become aware of the things you do not want to bring with you. And this is also, like my good friend Chris Reck from Minnow Pond Tarot says, this is a card of tactics. So I want you to think things through carefully in January about how you can be more strategic in this next 9-year cycle. Things that didn't quite go the way you had hoped in the last 9-year cycle since 2016 and 2017, how can you be more aware of blockages, things that got in your way, things that you didn't take action on when you could have, and how can you do it now in this new 1 year? So this could come down to maybe you had a marriage or a long-term relationship that ended, being very cautious to understand what were both sides' roles in that and how can you learn things from that so that going into this next cycle with new relationships or even current relationships you're in, you're not repeating that pattern. So I do feel like it's being aware of the patterns that held us back and being very strategic to support ourselves so we don't repeat the patterns we don't want. We can create new patterns with this new 1-year cycle. So it really is about that review process, being aware of your tendency. Maybe it's self-sabotage, maybe it's fear of abandonment, whatever these things are that have occurred for you over those last 9 years. And what are you going to do about it now so you're not repeating those patterns? So this is really about tactics and being very self-aware. And I think that doing that review is going to make you self-aware and you're going to really benefit from it. So let's see what's coming up in the future card here. Again, thank you so much for liking and sharing this video. It really helps my channel grow, and I really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button so we can stay connected. All right, your future card is the Knight of Water, romantic, emotional, and dramatic. I kind of love that for this card. Now, dramatic and emotional, it's like, haven't we had enough of that with Saturn and Neptune and Pisces? We're going to see more of it. It's just people, when things come to an end, it brings up emotions. It brings up change. A full moon reveals things. But we can get excited. We can choose to be excited for the future. So as you do this review process that we're talking about, becoming very self-aware about the last 9 years and what worked and what didn't, and what do you want to change? What do you want to make sure you don't repeat? Being careful that any emotions that rise to the surface are there to be acknowledged and understood, but not necessarily sat in. You don't have to, in other words, be compassionate towards yourself. So if you're doing this life review process over the last 9 years, or maybe you're even going further back to several 9 and 1 year cycles, and you're asking yourself, okay, these things that came up for me that I still need to release emotions over, they're coming up for me to finally heal now. So it's actually a benefit that this emotion is rising to the surface because I can address it and I can handle it differently. And then beginning to enjoy that romance of life. And I feel like one thing that we all could remember to do in January and really all through 2026 is to try to find that daily romance in life. The things you love to do, doing them every single day, even if it's just for 5 minutes, making sure you're taking that time to enjoy life. We're leaving behind that old age thing of nose to the grindstone, having to really get things done before you can enjoy things, right? Yes, work hard, play hard is a great motto, but are you making sure you have enough playtime? And then also making sure that you are focused on the things you want and being self-aware. So I really like this card, but it's making me feel like you may see a lot of people around you being overly dramatic, especially as you make these changes, and being self-aware. Like, let's say, for example, there's a family member that always, reacts in a certain way to certain things. Let's use the example of the holidays because that's easy. We just went through them. I hope you all had an amazing holiday season, but do you have a family member that always seems to get really blue or glum or really grouchy or gets over the top with things around the holidays, and you feel like you always have to be there and be their emotional support, or you have to mitigate things, you have to be the mediator between other people? This is something we may see in January, continue to see, but be aware of your role in that. Are you in some ways a crutch in that, or are you enabling it or engaging in it when you really don't need to? Maybe you can walk away, maybe you can get off the phone, maybe you can change the conversation, set some boundaries there, really being self-aware and saying, you know what, I'm going to enjoy January. I'm going to enjoy this time of new beginnings, and I'm going to let the past be the past. I'm going to find things that I enjoy. And, here in the Northern Hemisphere, as we move into January and February, the darker, shorter days, it can be easy to fall into a little bit of a rut. But I really feel like if you're thinking about the things you want to do in the spring, that's going to move you out of that energy. And remembering that we are entering into this one cycle all collectively, things will get better. You have to rise out of these dramatic emotions, acknowledge them, but then journal about them and put them to bed and say, I'm focusing on the things I'm excited about. If you don't have anything you're excited about, ask your spiritual team, what are things I need to be excited about? What are some things I can get excited about in January? So I really like that. Let's go check in with your 2 actions to take. Alrighty, your first action to take for January is this 2 of Water card, partnership, commitment, and reconciliation. Yes, I do think it's a card of partnering with others, but for a lot of you, it's partnering with your spiritual team, really remembering to go higher with your vibration. In my journal, I rate my moods in the AM and the PM every day. Actually, sometimes I'll rate the afternoon mood the next morning when I'm doing my journaling. But I found what I've been doing lately is I've been doing on a scale of 1 to 5. And I found that if I'm feeling at all off, I will rate my mood as needing to raise my vibration. And I'll ask my spiritual team, I'll say, help me raise my vibration. Even if I'm in a good mood, but I just feel like something feels off physically, or I feel a little stressed about something, I'll say, angels, please help me raise my vibration. And I'll ask for that intentional connection to move my energy up. And I feel like that's what we're getting with this action card. Really commit to partnering with your spiritual team to go higher with your energy levels in January. Like I said, here in the Northern Hemisphere, it can get a little too easy to slip into the winter doldrums, especially if you're in a part of the world where it's so cold and hard to go outside. You can use that time to go higher with your spiritual team. Do some visualizations, do some inner world work with your spiritual team that helps you get excited about what's to come. Now let's check in with your second action card before we pull it all together. And again, I really hope you'll join me for my free event linked below. If you can't make it live, I'll send you the replay as long as you're signed up. I was waiting for this camera to focus. But the link below, Tuesday, December 30th, 11 a.m. Central, I will be doing Q&A at the end. But if you can't make it live, I will definitely send you the replay. All right, your second action to take is this Knight of Earth card, organized, responsible, and supportive. Yeah, this is bringing this all together. When we see a lot of this emotional energy being released, especially at the beginning of the month with the full moon, where can you be supportive of your own emotions? I feel like this card of tactics is reminding you to look to see be very self-aware of the things that cause you to be overly emotional and overreact, and also be self-aware of when people lean on you maybe a little too much. And it's good for you to say, look, I want the best for you. I want to support you in this, but I also need time to go do the things I need to do to ground my energy, especially if, somebody's trying to pull you away from something that is good for you. But they're saying, but come on, I need you. So the example that's coming to mind is, a partner or a friend saying, oh, you can blow off your diet just once. Come celebrate with me. I'm excited. I want to celebrate. Or, oh, I'm sad about this one thing. Can we just have some comfort food and you can, forget about being carb free or whatever it is you're doing. I'm just using that example since this is the time of year people tend to do that. But there is something there where you want to be very self-aware and say, no, you know what? I'm going to be responsible and put my commitments first. And you're going to watch out for your own emotional triggers, right? Your own tendency to over dramatize or be overly emotional in a way that doesn't support what you're trying to do. Just being self-aware. And I think that's a really, really great way to wrap up these messages, is just remember that one moment at a time here, being self-aware one moment at a time. If you did mess up and, mess up your diet or whatever your new thing you're doing, that's okay. Say, it's okay. We're going to start now. We're going to start fresh in this next moment, not tomorrow, not a month from now, right? We're going to be compassionate with ourselves about it. And I do feel like, again, with this transformational energy coming in, you're going to find it's more available to you to shift your narrative on it. So please join me for my free event linked below. Again, if you can't make it live, sign up anyway so I can send you the replay, because I have some really amazing tools I'm going to share with you to get you started off right with this transformational energy, making the most of your New Year's Eve messages in this event, and also moving into 2026, a brand new cycle in numerology. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for liking and sharing. It really helps me out if you leave a comment. I read every single one of your comments. Hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time, hopefully at the free event, link below. Bye, everybody.